Hi, and welcome on Belmont Journal, Belmont's news show and community update. I'm your host, Maribel Carvajal de Salazar. And first, let's start with a community announcement. On Monday, October 4th, the Select Board and the Board of the Library Trustees meet to talk about the Public Library Building Project at 7:15 p.m. The meeting is held on Zoom and open to the public to comment. More information on the calendar on belmontma.gov. In collaboration with Osco Pharmacy, the town will be offering a second flu clinics on Tuesday, October 12th at the Beach Street Center, open to residents 65 years of age and older, and residents 50 years old with underlying health conditions. Please call 617-993-2977 to register. And now a communication from our Fire Chief, David DiStefano. The Belmont Fire Department has recently placed in service a new cardiac monitor on Rescue 1. This equipment features technology advancements that will allow our firefighter paramedics to optimize treatment on certain patients who require advanced pre-hospital care. Fire Chief David DiStefano stated, "Our Belmont firefighter, EMTs, and paramedics provide exemplary patient care. We truly appreciate the support of our community in providing this state-of-the-art equipment to help us save lives." Today we have with us Anne Mary Mahoney, the chair of the Capital Budget Committee, and she's going to share about a fun celebration we have coming up on October 16th at 1 p.m. Welcome, Anne.
Thank you, and a pleasure to be here. Yes, I am so excited. In addition to my work on capital budget, I've been chairing the building committee for the DPW and the police station. And as you know, the DPW is completed and we had our ribbon cutting there last June. Now we are beyond excited to finally have our ribbon cutting and open house for the police station, which will be Saturday, October 16th at 1 o'clock. We welcome the entire community. This is your opportunity to get inside the police station and see all of the work we've done, both to restore the original 1931 building and then to create these beautiful new additions that offer wonderful working space for our police officers and staff and have been just such a boost to their morale and to the professionalism of the police station. So yes, please come and see it. We want everyone to be there.
That's great. And you mentioned that the police station was built in 1931, and we were able to save some of the historical parts. Can you tell us?
Yes. That original building that you see on Concord Ave across from Town Hall was opened in 1931. It's a Georgian style, and it's part of the historic district in Belmont. And so when we embarked on this project, it was very important to us to preserve the historic nature of that building, which we did. And using CPA funds, we were able to completely restore the exterior of the building. And while we replaced the windows with, energy efficiency and all of that, they are in the original design. The trim paint is an historic color. We've repointed the brick. We've preserved and restored the slate roof. Everything about the exterior, the wood trim around the doors, everything is preserving the historic nature, but certainly revitalizing it. So I think the exterior of that building is just beautiful. The restoration came out very well. Inside the original building, we were able to restore the original maple floors on the second floor. Unfortunately, they were too badly damaged on the first floor to do that. We also have preserved the original wood trim around the windows and the doors and the baseboards, so people will be able to see that as well. We have some of the original lighting in the hallways. But then, in a way, the exciting part is that the new additions to the building melded onto the old one so perfectly. And so you just flow from the old building into the new, and you see a brightness and a lightness and almost a happiness, if you can say that, in the police station in most of the areas where the officers actually do their work. We also have a beautiful new conference room that is working great for the police to have meetings there, not just of their own personnel, but outside people coming in. And it's available for other town departments to come in and meet in as well. And that has been funded and dedicated to Liz and Graham Allison, who have been very generous with the project.
And talking about that, there was a team effort, and you said you have private fundings. Can you share about that?
Yes, citizens have been very generous. We were on a very tight budget because this project has not been funded by a debt exclusion. So it's using mostly existing capital money within the town. So we had to be very careful how we funded it. We were very fortunate that the Belmont Savings Bank Foundation gave us a grant of $100,000, and that funded the lockers for both our male and female officers, and they are beautiful, modern, beautiful, they're great. We had donations for the exterior landscaping, flagpole, and whatever, and we are very grateful to those families who donated there. And then sadly, when former police officer Richard Lane passed away, his friends and family got together and they donated money to completely renovate what was the existing kitchen in the police station, and which had not been part of our project. So using that money, we were able to completely renovate the kitchen. It is now called the Richard J. Lane Cafe. It's beautiful. And because the police station is a 24/7 operation, it really is a key feature in that station. And so we're very pleased with how that came out and very grateful to all of Richie's friends and family for their donations. So without all of that, we could not have done what we did and still maintain a bottom line in the black, which is where we are.
That's awesome. Please invite us again, the date and
Yes.
time.
Saturday, October 16th, beginning at 1 o'clock. We'll do the ribbon cutting and a few little speeches at 1 o'clock. And then there will be tours of the station that will last through the afternoon. So please stop by on your way home from soccer. If you've gone to a morning football game, come on by in the afternoon. Just walk down and finally take a look at this wonderful work.
And now we are here with Franklin Tucker, the editor of the Belmontonian.com. Hi, Franklin.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Today we're going to talk about the fuel tank. There was a town meeting and you're going to share everything about it.
That's right. There was a town forum that was this week, and it's the second of the forums that the select board has organized to talk about the fuel tanks. Again, let's reiterate the fuel tanks that are at the DPW yard at the last town meeting. The voters voted down the needed money to put above ground tanks, and so this is a way for the town to decide what they're going to be doing with the future of the tanks, because they're very old. They're over 35 years old, and that makes them a liability. You can hardly get insurance for something that old underground. So first thing you should know is don't be alarmed if you see a police car in your local service station, and that's because for the next 3 to 4 months, police cars and any other town vehicle that uses unleaded gas will be using private gas stations rather than the tanks over at the DPW yard. And that's part of a proposal, a trial period that town vehicles that use unleaded fuel will be doing their tanking up at one of the 9 private gas stations in town. And there's 2 reasons for that. They want to see how efficient it is. Can town employees do it efficiently, without any delays, and how much fuel will be used, and that is going to determine how much the town needs on hand at the DPW yard for worst case scenarios like snowstorms and things like that. There was a report that was presented at this meeting by Glenn Clancy, who's the director of community development. And you could consider it the Rembrandt of data-driven reports. It was a 13-page summary with tables and charts and everything that you could think of what a vehicle has done over the last 3 years. How many times it left the yard, how many times it was fueled up, what was the cost for that, and there's really what they're trying to do now with this trial period is try to determine whether these calculations that Glenn Clancy did can be confirmed in a real world scenario. And what they're trying to conclude with all this information is does the town really need 6,000 gallon tanks, and whether it is something that the town can efficiently use, I should say. And if that conclusion is that we can have smaller tanks because we're using, private service stations, will that placate those who opposed the tanks at town meeting with facts? So that's what the select board is trying to do.
All right. So now we're going to change the topic and we're going to go for sports.
That's right. We're about a third to a half of the way in to sports in town. We can look at the football team. They're 2-1 with our new coach, Brian McCray, who was an assistant coach his entire life. This is his first head coaching job. Doing a very good job. They had a very big victory, 26-7 against Burlington this past weekend. They are going to be playing one of the best teams in the state their next game against Reading. But this is a year because the other teams are struggling a little bit. This is a good year for Belmont. I mean, they can go out and have a very good record this year for the football team, which would be great. Now, golf continues to continue their winning ways. They only have 2 losses, but they're a strong team, so they're going to be something to look forward to in the Middlesex League Championship and in the state championship. Soccer is a little off this year. For the girls, there's a lot of injuries, and some of the girls also left the program to go to private school. So, and the boys are just learning, they have a new coach also, so they're learning his system, and, they're kind of a smaller team, so they have to be more finesse oriented. Volleyball started off great at 4-1, and now they're 5-4. They went through a stretch where they just couldn't finish off games. And field hockey is about 500, and they're going to be ready. They're going to get ready for their big rivalry next week against Watertown.
Awesome. Go Belmont. And
Go Marauders.
Go Marauders. And what about that cross-country new coach in middle school?
That's right. We have a great new coach. Just think if you were a middle school player and Bill Belichick was your coach, and you go like, wow, that would be great. Well, the Tennery Middle School cross-country team has such an experience because their new head coach, is Becca Peasy, the world-renowned marathon runner. So that must be great, and a lot of people are going out for that sport. Over 130 kids came out for a practice. How do you handle 130 kids at a practice? I don't know, but it's going to be great to see her lend them her experience as a runner.
And now we have Joanna Tzouvelis, our multimedia journalist from Belmont Citizen Herald and Belmont Weekend Lookout. Welcome, Joanna.
Thank you, Maribel. Great to be here.
Despite pandemic business opening in Cushing Square, now we have 3 new stores. Can you please tell us?
Yes, so despite the pandemic, three new stores have opened in Cushing Square. Well, two are open. One is almost getting ready to open. And they are actually owned by local residents. 2 are on Common Street and 1 is on Trapello Road. And I'll tell you about the one on Trapello Road. A lot of people probably noticed it. It's a big orange awning and it's called Om Namo Center. It's where Simply Yoga used to be. Om Namo Center relocated to Belmont from Cambridge recently. They used to be on Belmont Street in Cambridge. The owner is a Watertown resident. He's originally from Nepal and his name is Santosh Karmacharya. Om stands for Oriental Medicine. Namo means to bow forward. And it's a center that offers yoga, but also acupuncture, massage, personal training, Reiki, and many other wellness treatments under one roof. And they are currently offering both in-person and virtual sessions. Om Namo Center is located at 93 Trapello Road. There are 2 others. Do you want me to tell you about those?
Please.
Sure. I don't know about you, Maribel, but if you're into home decorating, you might like Sid and Sam. Sid and Sam is also a business that relocated from Cambridge to Belmont. It's owned by a Belmont resident. Her name's Emily Pinney. It's a home furnishing and design store, and it's located where Helena's used to be on Common Street. And she named the store Sid and Sam after her 2 former pet cats. She's an interior designer, so she'll offer interior design services, and she'll sell furnishings and decor in the boutique. And she'll be opening very soon. She's not quite open yet, but there is a third one, and it is open. It's called Curate Gift and Home. It's located at 451 Common Street, where Berkshire Hathaway used to be. It's owned by Watertown resident Tina Miller, who actually used to work at Bells and Whistles. I don't know if you remember that store in Belmont Center that closed during the pandemic. So the store sells all kinds of unique items for the home and entertaining, and things that you can personalize, like cheese trays, cutting boards, serving trays. She also has candles and napkins that have the Belmont and Watertown zip codes and some other unique gifts for Belmont and Watertown residents. So it's definitely worth a stop into that store, Curate Gift and Home. It's now open.
Sounds awesome.
Stores.
Yeah, sounds great to get some Belmont items. That would be cool.
lot of great holiday shopping, new places to do your holiday shopping.
Yes, now let's change our topic and go for the Rink Financing Committee. They are going to meet for the first time.
They did. They had their meeting, and it's now under the leadership of Select Board member Mark Palillo, and the vice chair is Dante Mazzioli. He's pretty well known around town. He's a former hockey coach. He owns Moosey's, and he also has a Mazzioli landscaping business and construction. Other members on the committee are big in the Belmont youth hockey community. They're on the board: Frank French Jr., Karen McElroy. There's also warrant committee member Ellen Schreiber, and she helped raise funds for the Underwood pool, so I think she'll be helpful. She's also, helping raise funds for a new library. Then we have town administrator Patrice Garvin, former select board member Tom Caputo, whose 2 daughters play hockey, and school committee member Meg Moriarty. So they have quite a task ahead of them, Maribel. They have to try to see how they're going to get financing for a rink. It's a single sheet of ice that will cost $15 to $20 million. So there might be a need for a debt exclusion, but they're going to look into CPA funding, private funding, maybe even a public-private partnership. And it's important to know that this is an urgent matter because our rink could fail at any time, the current rink. So they've got quite a task ahead of them. They have about a year to get their work done, and then they'll present their recommendations to a town meeting.
The Economic Development Committee and the Town of Belmont have drafted a local rapid recovery program for the Tropelo corridor. They are now seeking feedback. Shonool Malik interviews Emma Thurston, chair of the committee, and John Marshall, assistant town administrator, to know more.
A few months ago, Belmont was one of the 120 fortunate communities to get a grant from Massachusetts Local Rapid Recovery Program, which helped the town in 2 ways: in assessing the impact of COVID on this corridor, and then coming up with a plan on how to make this corridor more robust and cohesive. So on to you, Emma and John. Would you share with us what these plans are, and how can we make this community more of a cohesive business destination? Any one of you?
Yeah, I can jump in. So the plans are basically what we have, what we got out of this program was a lengthy list. If you've seen the documents, it's a couple hundred pages long.
Yeah.
Of plans that we could go out and look for funding for, like they're ready to go. There's, dollar amounts attached to them. There's implementation ideas attached to them. And what we're looking for is feedback about those plans and what people think of them in the community. We presented this to the select board a few weeks ago. So we're just looking for what everyone else thinks about it. We definitely, there's a lot of projects listed. I think there's 10 or 12 different things that we could do. And so, where do we want to put our focus, and what do we think as a community these things are best, like what are the best things that we can work on right away or whenever we can get funding for it. So.
And what should be the best way and you're looking for town people to give you feedback on these projects?
Yeah, businesses, residents, citizens, everybody under the sun in town.
And can you share with us how that process might be? Like, where should they contact you? Where can they read the plan?
Yep, so right on the website, it's belmont-ma.gov/EDC. And if you go to that, that's the Economic Development Committee webpage. And if you go to that site, there's a link over in the left hand in the green menu section that will say RRP feedback. So if you click on that, it will bring you to the document so that you can look through. I promise you don't have to read all 200 and some odd pages of it to get an overview of what the plans are. There's a lot of information about what other towns have done, some case studies, the survey results that we did from both the business sector and the resident community. So all of that's in there, but you can get a really good idea just running through what the projects would be. And then that document also has the feedback, like the survey that you can take and give your input on what you think of those projects.
And as I understand that you will be looking for some grants to then underwrite these projects, could you share that with us? And what is the timeline? What can we expect this to happen?
Sure. So one of the things that we actually have in the report at the end of it is a number of opportunities that are available through the state and also some private funders to help with some of the initiatives. The town has already applied for a grant through the Department of Housing and Community Development through their One Stop program. One of the items that was identified not only in this project, but also through the Belmont Business Study was wayfinding, trying to assist with better information in locations throughout town. So we found that as an opportunity, applied for the grant, and we're awaiting the results on that. We're hopeful.
Fingers crossed.
Is there anything that you're particularly looking for to help move this project and process faster?
At this point, the process has actually moved pretty quickly. It's been a 6-month process from start to where we are right now, nearing completion. The biggest thing we're looking for at this point is feedback. Once the report's finalized, it's really going to be the reference point for us moving forward for initiatives, not only in the Trapelo corridor, but also townwide to help the businesses and provide opportunities for more engagement from customers and also fellow business owners. So we're very excited.
Well, thank you both of you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing what the next update might be. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This summer, you might have noticed the activity of 5 artists in town around electric boxes. Naomi, Ellenberg, Dukas, and Dari, Paquette, co-chair of Belmont Art Association, explain.
The project is called Transforming Belmont, based on the fact that some of these utility boxes are called transformer boxes. The ones that we were allowed to paint are the ones that change the traffic lights, because the actual transformer boxes are high voltage and we're not allowed to paint them because it was considered too risky for the artists. And there's a lack of public art in Belmont, and especially during COVID, we wanted to try to bring some joy to people that were not allowed to go to museums when they were all closed. So we started this project 2 years ago because the grant process is the year before. And last year we got money to do 3 boxes, which we started. And then this year we got a very, very generous grant from the Belmont Cultural Council. So we were allowed to pay the artists more and do 4 additional boxes thanks to them. And then we also had a very generous donation from local realtor Ann Mann, which allowed us to do a 5th box. So now we have 8 boxes, which is terrific.
When we first started this, we didn't dream it would be such a success. And when we saw how great it was last year, it inspired us to apply for the 2nd grant this year, and we're working now to do another grant for next year so that we can add more boxes. But we also really want to encourage people to think about how we can have more art, more of an art presence in Belmont, which is something to enrich the whole town.
You guys want to participate in The project is entitled Wish for Change. And I'm asking folks to write one word that they wish for.
I think art is important in life. It's nourishing. It fits to the theme of the next Belmont Gallery of Art show. Art is nourishing and sustaining and can even help people get through COVID, and beautifying the world is really important, starting with our own town in Belmont. We would really like to do a lot more. We just have to have the funds and the people to support that so that we can have more art in our town.
And now it's time to mark your calendar with these community events. Belmont Recreation Fall Adult Education is launched, and the registration has begun for the pilot programs on September 28th. If you are interested in adult guitar lessons, singing workshop, karate, women's self-defense, Zumba, or dog and puppy training, don't wait to sign up. More info on belmontrec.com. In recognition of Belmont's newly renamed Indigenous Peoples Day, the Belmont Public Library, along with the Human Rights Commission and Belmont Against Racism, are happy to share part of the story of the Wampanoag and the amazing story of the return of the Wampanoag language, with an event online on Thursday, October 7th from 6 to 7:30. The evening will start with the screening of the documentary We Still Live Here, and question and answer session with a member of the Wampanoag Language Reclamation Project will follow. Register on the Public Library website. Saturday, October 9, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., the Public Library celebrates the Hispanic Latinx Heritage Festival outside the building. Join for fun activities for the whole family, crafts and story time for kids, and live music for adults. No registration required. The Beach Street Center and Belmont Religious Council would like to invite you to a special COVID-19 memorial on Thursday, October 14th. This will be a space for honoring those who were lost this past year, where mourning in person was not possible. Please call 617-993-2979 for more info. That's it for this week on Belmont Journal. Thank you for watching. I'm your host, Maribel Carvajal de Salazar. See you next time.